Bye.
It's the worst idea of all time. It's the worst idea of all time. It's the worst idea of all time.
Season 2
with Tim and Guy.
Hello, and welcome along to another exciting episode of The Worst Idea of All Time.
Episode 47 is brought to you by Big Pipe Broadband. If you're in New Zealand, get it in ya. Bigpipe.co.nz. It's awesome. There's no contracts and they don't throttle your speed because they're good people.
Or your family, bitches!
They ain't throttling no one around here.
That's right. Is it 47 or 48? Look, it's not.
Oh, 48.
It's definitely one of the
48.
two.
It's 48. High five, buddy.
Happy birthday. Inching closer to the half century.
40 go, motherfucker. It's not a word I use often, but I feel like this movie has disrespected me.
I also feel like the first thing I'd like to say actually is I hope I never have a relationship with a human being like the relationship I have with Sex and the City 2.
Here. You guys, I'm sorry to cut you off on that thought, Guy. You might be hearing some background ribble-rabble. This is kind of like the spiritual sequel to Slumber Party, which was sort of themed as well. This is like a pool party because my next door neighbours have got a pool and the kids are just going hog wild out there.
That's right. They're
God,
going
they're having a
absolutely
good time.
ballistic. They've been having a good time for about an hour now.
We've been locked up in this humid Auckland afternoon.
We've
It's so
been-
hot here. I know a lot of you guys are in the snow and
Yeah.
stuff, 'cause you're in the east coast of the United States, but tell you what, Peachy Keen over here. Listen to those kids.
We've been cooped up like a couple of chickens in a pen, listening to the bloody next door neighbours' kids over at Splash Palace. They've been playing nothing but top 20 bangers and clangers and pretty much doing the dopest tricks. At one point, one of them got out a boogie board and was like, check this out, and went and sort of tried to surf
It's not
across
even a
the
big
pool,
pool.
on the bit dangerous, if anything.
Super dangerous.
But the excitement on the other kids, like the other kid was like, no way, no way, no way, I want to do that.
Yeah. Believe it, folks. They're having so much fun.
In fact, so much fun that within 15 seconds of their arrival and joy, Tim mumbled quite loudly, fucking kids. And I turned to him and said, were you doing a gag? And he said, no.
I'm genuinely turning into an old man in my old age. Hey, we're joined by one of the most popular co-hosts that we've had on this show before. The Knife is back, folks. Knifey.
Yeah, it's true. Obviously, you can't see what's happening, but Tim's wielding a knife. He was practicing his thrusts during the movie.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
This isn't a flick knife, eh? For something to be a flick knife, you got to be able to just... whoosh.
Yeah, it's not a flick knife.
So what is it? Is it just like a concealed knife?
If you put it in your pocket, right now it is not a concealed knife. That is a...
The blade flips out.
The
I guess
thi-
it's
do you
a
know,
safety feature.
I was thinking about it because I was watching you practice your thrusts.
Do my thing.
And
Do
you
my
got
knife thing.
some great thrusts. I'm not, as a measure of time passing, I don't fear you with a knife like I did when you first brought it out. And I think that's on account of I just know you infinitely better now.
That makes me want to stab you because it's like you feel like you've got my number, and I don't like that. I don't like people thinking that.
I'm not getting it twisted. I know who's got the knife in the room.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is
You would do well to remember that, Guy Montgomery.
I think it's odd that you want your friends to be threatened, to be like.
Not necessarily threatened, but I just don't want them discounting.
So you don't want
The
them to
possibility of me
explicitly
stabbing
think
them.
that you're going to stab them, but you just like them entertaining maybe the possibility that at any given moment you might.
It's the implication.
Thank you,
For
Dennis.
always Sunny fans out there. This movie is massively disrespecting us at this point. It is in a Victorian era, biting its thumb at us. In a modern era, it is putting its cock and balls in between its legs and then giving us that moon.
Shelbyville, it's pointing at us with their right index finger and ushering down it with their left index finger while saying, hoot, 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 hoot.
It's a deep cut.
Yeah.
Deep Simpsons cut. It's fuck. It's not.
What's to say?
It's not playing
The
nice
reason I
anymore.
wouldn't want to
the
have
movie's not playing nice anymore. You know,
it's playing rough and tumble.
it sure is.
Playground rules. Why I would never want to have a relationship with a person like I do with this movie is because if this were to be a person, I would just like. This is worse than not liking something. This is refusing. This is like blanking someone. This is like refusing to even engage with them. This is pretty much giving a person the silent treatment. I feel like I just can't communicate with this. I can't get through to it. It's crazy. There's like
Is that worse than hate? Nothing is worse than hate. And I don't mean nothing is in nothing. I mean nothing is in like dullness is worse than hate.
I think so. If it's in a situation where you could cull it from your life and you choose to maintain the dullness instead of just saying get it, like, frankly, I think it's gone toxic and we shouldn't be in a room together anymore.
The cicadas are really adding a summary vibe to this. I dig it. What we did is we were like, look, there's two ways. This was what happened in my head. I didn't verbalize any of this. There's two ways. There's two ways to deal with an outside pool party at your next door neighbour's place. You can either be furious and rail against it, or you can just get on board and go with it and mic up the pool party.
Yeah,
so we've just got a microphone hanging outside the studio pointed in their direction.
In my cans,
yeah,
some of those noises, the kids having fun, are coming through so clear. I'm almost wondering about the legality of what, like, is it? Strictly speaking, is this legal?
Yeah, totally, absolutely.
To mic up your neighbours?
Yeah, if it's on your property, sure.
So you could hypothetically put microphones all along both of your fences.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Don't know the answer to that one, guy. Not sure. I'm sure it's fine.
What a quandary. Well, it's going up either way. And if the kids hear this and figure out how to process legal action against us for doing it,
I say good on you.
All power to them. Lesson
Bring it
learned.
on.
Those kids are our future.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Only 4 more episodes, man. Are you excited by that? I'm pretty thrilled.
I am pretty
thrilling.
I'm pretty thrilled, but it doesn't have the same ramp up to finishing Grown Ups 2.
Yeah.
And excuse me for speaking in sort of in reference to the other movie, but it's just such the whole thing's such a different sensation now. With Grown Ups 2, there was a real like excitement and like this isn't that was like it was reaching boiling point, and then there was a joyous explosion and the whole thing sort of culminated, and it felt like it was not worthwhile, but it amounted to something. But the sex
certainly didn't pay off.
Yeah, but Sex in the it paid off. It was fucking electric. We got to go to Los Angeles.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
But yeah, and then in this circumstance, it's like it's just deflating. Like I'm not bursting across the finish line. I'm limping, like battered and worn. Like pretty much scraping myself over from the bare nubs I have left of fingers because I've been through all the nail cuticle, the top 2 knuckles.
That feeling you're describing just popped into my head. It describes perfectly, I think, how we both felt watching Grown Ups 1 after we had had this big blowout and like had such a cool finale. It was all done. And then, was the next day? I think it was. Night, yeah. The very next day, we watched Grown Ups, the first one, hungover as shit in this darkened toilet UCB, which was kind of cool. And under any other circumstances, we'd be like, oh, wicked. But it was just like a dredge.
It was, that was, I would say, even in the context of Sex and the City 2, probably the most like depressing one that we've put out.
Yeah.
It was so flat.
It's fucking grim.
But this is like, I think, do you know what I'm speaking about when I say it's not, I wouldn't say I'm excited, just defiantly pleased that I know I'll be rid of it. This dead weight in my life.
Yeah.
Are you trying to pick up what they're saying? You look like you're listening in.
I'm sort of listening more to the cicada.
I'm just wondering if you...
This is a good party, man. This is like the biggest
this
episode.
Is not that good of...
This is the biggest episode we've had. We've got like kids co-hosting. We've got the knife on.
I don't think this is a good party at all.
A cicada is in the mix
when you
now.
put all of those elements together, if the police, for instance, show up here...
Yeah.
You've mic'd up the neighbours. You're sitting in your bloody little outhouse with a knife, practicing your thrusts. It's not a good look, Tim.
Oh my God, you're right, man.
I'm accessory too. This is a freaky image. This is not a...
Yeah, but what you've got to appreciate is the cops can't come in here without a reason, you know? Is that even true in New Zealand? I feel like I get a lot of my legal determinations from watching television, and most of the shows we get here in New Zealand are from America. Sounds like some shit's really going down next. It's really starting to kick off next door at the pool party. What'd you think of the movie this time, Guy? This 47th watch of Sex and the City 2.
as I've been trying to describe earlier in this particular episode, I didn't much care for it this week, Tim.
Should we get into some shining lights? Let's try and pull up. You know?
Okay, I'm not necessarily
Here's
armed
mine.
with anything. Yeah, I am. Can I go? Because you've written yours down, and I'm more
go
liable
for
to
it.
forget mine. Mine was Miranda. She does, when Carrie's talking about her relationship with Big on the jumbo jet airliner, which is the size of a jumbo jet. Pretty big airplanes. Carrie's explaining...
The jumbo jet that is the size of a jumbo jet.
That's right.
I can see why this podcast is doing so well.
Is it an accurate description? Yes. Does it paint the picture I was trying to paint? Yes. Job
You know
done.
a jumbo jet? Think of that, but instead of a jumbo jet, a jumbo jet.
No, it's a jumbo jet. You know something about the size of a jumbo jet? Okay, you think of a jumbo jet, you've got it.
Okay, go on.
It's
Sorry.
called Guy Montgomery's 3-step process for communication.
Go on.
Say the same thing 3 times. What I'm trying to tell you is Carrie's explaining Big's idea for their relationship, namely that they should spend some more time apart.
Yeah.
Because the thing's gone...
Which, when you put it like that,
Yeah.
doesn't sound like a great idea to float to your wife.
Yeah, I can see why...
Hey, you know what would improve this marriage? Less marriage.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gunning for.
That's right. And I think this argument and its insistence on showing up week in, week out, I mean, I've said a lot of bad things about it, but God bless its grit and determination. Nothing if not tenacious, this argument. It rears its fucking ugly head in your beautiful home, Tim, every week. And frankly, if you have guests over, look, you can leave your problems at home. Check them at the door, because you're in my house now or my friend Tim's house. We're trying to have a good time together.
I don't know how many times I have to have this chat with you. It's a shining light. You're supposed to enjoy the bit of the film.
Yeah. Well, I'm about to tell you the bit I really enjoyed.
All right.
Which was, so Carrie is describing her, like what Biggs pitched in their relationship to Charlotte and Miranda. Kim Cattrall's already gone to bed. And she says Big wants 2 days off. And there's a shot of Charlotte with some sort of verbal response, spoken response. And then there's a passing shot, a glancing shot, you'd almost call it, of Miranda, in which she just ever so gently turns her eyes from left to right to signal intent to Carrie that she's listening and open to this conversation.
But it's not even like the shot's on her, eh? She's kind of over someone's shoulder.
I'm not
in the
sure if it's a
background
double or a single. It feels very brief. I think it's for the it's for your connoisseur to observe. And I think that it was a classy touch. I tell you one thing about Cynthia Nixon, she was a real joy to work with on this film.
Real
She
pro.
was a real pro, and that was my shining light.
Mine would have to be, and I can't believe I've missed it up until now. I'm pretty sure I have. The bit where they're going dress shopping for Samantha for the premiere, and the sales assistant says, "Isn't that dress a little young for you?" And it's that shot of Carrie. Sarah Jessica Parker just does a non-verbal cue. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like a grimace almost, and she juts her jaw. The rest of her face doesn't move, but she juts her jaw to the side. So it's almost like she's gritting her teeth, but just in one action, and her mouth is open. So she's like, and it's great because it just communicates so perfectly the uncomfortableness of that situation and the fact that she knows storm cloud's coming. And lo and behold, it does.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
Samantha's next line is, exactly how old do you think I am? And what does the sales assistant say to that? Nothing?
I'll see if they... I think she checks for sizes or something. She deflects.
I don't think she says anything. And then Samantha says, for your information, I'm 50 fucking 2, and I will rock
That's right,
this
yeah.
dress.
That is a good bit of that's really good sass. And also, yeah, as you said, well telegraphed by Carrie.
And it's good. Hey, look, good from Cynthia. From Kim Cattrall as well. From there, I like her delivery in that bit.
Yeah, Kim.
Good on you.
Kim was actually a real joy to work with on
Real
this film.
pro
Real
on set, I found. Real pro. Real pro to work
now,
with.
speaking of
Much
Jumbo,
like the knife.
Jumbo, yep,
There he is.
still there. What's the last thing you cut with that knife?
Good question. I feel like it was a bit of rope, but it's not coming into my head immediately what rope I would have been cutting. It's not that sharp, to be honest. It's like impressive looking, but it's not that sharp.
Is that? I don't know. A blunt knife is as scary because, like,
A blunt knife is more dangerous.
Yeah.
What's his name? Taught me that. Thingy Bob.
Bear Grylls.
No, British chef who's always on the tally swearing at people.
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay. Love that dude.
It came over to you.
Oh, no, it was Jamie Oliver, sorry. Actually, it was Jamie Oliver who said that. It
He
was like,
could not be a more different personality.
they're both British chefs. They could be... what you've said is invalid, guy.
No,
Your
I said
viewpoint is
personality.
wrong. Oh, yeah, that's true. Jamie Oliver said, like, dull knives are the dangerous ones. Those are the ones you got to look out for
All right,
because they don't go where you point them.
You go, all right, dull knives are the... What I'm going to do here, right, is dull knives are the dangerous one. Yeah, I don't know who you are.
My wife, Jules.
My wife, Jules.
Guy and I were just discussing how Borat is experiencing a renaissance of sorts.
It is a real time of renaissance.
Second coming. Not renaissance. What am I trying to think of?
Renaissance.
It's like a second coming.
No, yeah, I think that's right.
Because it's been just enough time now, and it feels like it's popping up in a lot of places the last 6 months.
Yeah.
No wave.
Someone had their Wi-Fi called my Wi-Fi, which is just
Oh, that's on the
tasty.
nose.
Speaking of jumbo jets,
You died. Your dog.
Pardon?
I was going to say dude, and then I got sidetracked by dog. And
this
didn't
is
turn out
something
well.
that we...
Thanks for the Campari, by the way. Guy brought Campari to this pool party, and it's adding a real refreshing
look.
beat to the whole thing.
If we're going to watch our kids have a swim in the pool, the least we can do is get shit drunk and moan about our bosses at work.
With a knife.
Not necessarily.
Anyway, sorry, you were saying jumbo jets?
Yeah.
We pretend that jumbo jets... Oh, no, wait, what's that song? I can't remember what it
a
is.
shooting stars.
Yeah.
I could really use a wish right now.
Yeah.
Wish right now.
I'm going to stop sidetracking you because I've got nothing of
Wish
value to
right
offer.
now. Jumbo jets.
Yes.
We haven't really spoken about this before, but when they walk into their cabins
Yeah.
aboard the plane it's plus size. To use an adjective,
I know where you're going.
I would use
Yep.
the word jumbo
Yeah.
if I could.
Yeah. Triple XL.
I think jumbo does the trick quite nicely. Let's not get it confused, Tim. And they're walking it, and I mean, these cabins are huge.
Yes.
They are the size of sort of retail stores in a mall.
Yeah, it's like a triple XL seat.
Yes.
Is how I'd describe it on a plane.
I think so. Just for consistency's sake, I think it's probably handier if we just call it a jumbo seat. But, neither here nor there. And adorning Carrie's head. And we really haven't spoken or made enough of this because it is truly...
We've talked a little bit about the other headpiece in the wedding.
Yes, but this one is... it's, it's that classic... Are you wearing the hat or is the hat wearing you situation?
Yeah.
She's pretty much wearing like a melted down, dyed version of the sorting hat from Harry. Like it's as wide as the aisle.
Yeah, if I was picking a size, I would say triple XL.
Yeah, it is big, undeniably. And I just, I think all the way down the gate towards when they board the plane, I would say it is a triple XL hat. But once she is aboard the plane, it does just, I think, for the sake of clarity for everyone involved, I would probably describe it as a jumbo-sized hat. But it's the thing is genuinely...
You can't see this, listener. Every time Guy does that, I'm shrugging my shoulders at him in a dismissive manner.
It's
as if to say, if you like.
It's crazy, and
Yeah.
she walks onto the plane, and
That hat is fucking ridiculous. It's all crumpled. It looks, it's like tinfoil.
That's right.
It's like someone got 50 meters of tinfoil and constructed a headpiece out of that, and she's got it on.
and that in and of itself is fine. Wear whatever hat you want. I mean, by all means, it's your head.
Decal your own knee quab.
Decal your knee quab, Carrie. But then one of the hostess, the stewards, they are walking down the aisle, and she welcomes Carrie to the flight, and Carrie says, "I like your hat," and the steward smiles, and she continues walking, and then Carrie, vindicated by this ambivalence towards her choice of headgear, turns to the gals and says, "And I was worried mine would be too much." There has been not a life raft of hope for the hat she's wearing from the steward.
Yeah, it's like she's gone insane and she's heard. She's confident that the person she's talking to is about to say, "I love your hat too," that the fact that no one has said it doesn't change her next course of action.
Absolutely.
And I thought mine was going to be too much. It is. No one is negating that. It's like, it's completely true.
It's like they wrote the line of dialogue, the response, into the script and shot it and then cut it out of the final edit.
Yeah.
as a
Just to
sti-
make
as
it
a
look like
stitch
a
up.
pig.
Like that is
Which is like what they do with Cynthia Nixon as well, with the Spanx line.
yeah, absolutely. There's
What is the line for that again?
I've
I've
tricked
tricked
my
my-
body into thinking it's younger, and then Miranda says, "I've tricked my body into thinking it's thinner." Spanx, and then there's a beat to absorb the silence and tanking of the joke.
She bombs so hard.
But
Boys and girls listening, you don't appreciate how much she bombs with that line. Like, she gets nothing. There's a thing in stand-up comedy where if you're filming like a live show, and if you don't mic up the audience, no matter what happens on stage, it just looks like you're fucking bombing because it's like no one's reacting. And it's like that. It's just, there's no reaction. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's not a giggle. There's nothing. And then they just move forward with the conversation.
there are a surprisingly large number of scripted gags in the movie which are treated with exactly the same response, where it's like they don't just they make a point of like hovering on the joke,
the bomb.
just long enough for you to be like, "Yep, that tanked."
Yeah,
and then keep
totally.
going.
It's so weird because it's it's scripted and edited. It's not like either a live performance or a live broadcast. It's like there are many opportunities for this to not happen.
And it's exactly
Why
the
is it
same
here?
thing.
These are
with-
supposed to be the characters that we love. That's the thing. It's not like they're doing something that you were put on a villain or someone you're supposed to hate in the movie, but these are our heroes.
They do it, and they do it again with names. They're constantly getting their manservant butler's names,
Is it
pronouncing
Garou?
them
Is it
differently.
Garon?
Well, I actually do that thing, which is when you meet somebody,
Oh, we've got an aeroplane co-hosting at the moment. Newest member of the pool party.
it's the
Is it a helicopter? I think it's a copter.
certainly up in the skies.
See, it's an exciting party,
It is pretty exciting. It's certainly a good, authentic soundscape.
isn't it?
It's an interesting talk bed. You should just record this as general atmos. I bought an album, like a record, several years ago called Relaxing Sounds.
Yeah.
And it's 6 tracks, 3 on either side, and it's like a bubbling brook.
That's nice.
A Sunday afternoon, like the rainforest. And it's got little blurbs for each place which describe, it's like
Where you are.
the sound and what's happening. And the one... And this would be a great bed for like a Sunday afternoon.
Like
What you're-
suburban jungle.
Yeah, exactly. But the description for the Sunday afternoon was like, it was like blah blah blah, crickets chirp, birds singing, relaxation, and in the distance, the sound of a lawnmower can be heard because listening to someone else do work is also relaxing.
That's nice. I had an app that did that. So you got to go down and select what you wanted in there and mix how loud each thing was. So you created your own soundscape. And there was some dope stuff in
You
there,
can do
man.
some buzzy stuff
There
with
was
that.
like, so it was kind of rainforest, like rain coming down onto a canopy. And then you could combine that with like monks chanting real quietly in the background. And then a bubbling brook and then a fire crackling as well. Have that like coming over the top. It
That's
was
good
fucking
because
excellent.
then the fun thing to do is if you've got your eyes shut, is you try and imagine the visual image of the setting that you've set. So you try and
What's
imagine.
even better is because it's like an app trying to cater for everyone, they've got like real urban stuff as well. So it was the noise of a dryer going quietly. So I'm like in this forest and these monks are waiting for their drying to be done from the machine and they're just forming a chant circle.
keeping themselves warm on a fire. What I was trying to say, though, Tim, is the way that they treat...
Drop my knife.
that is a bit of an uh-oh. Is... Oh, fuck.
Sorry,
There's
I'm
one,
so
one
sorry.
distraction too
I'm
many.
so sorry.
No. Oh, they treat they don't learn the names of the people, like in the script, they've scripted the names.
Yeah.
And it's like none of them have the confidence when saying them out loud. So they do what I do when I'm not sure about the pronunciation on someone's name who I might have met or I'm not comfortable asking again, which is I'll pronounce it like 3 different ways with supreme confidence over the night. So at least once I'll get it right. And the other 2 times there'll just be a cloud of uncertainty hanging over both of us.
That's good, man. It's good
But that's
hedging
like,
of bets.
that's me sort of, making it up on the spot in
Yeah.
a social situation.
Sure.
This is a script. Like, you are in total control of whether or not the characters know the people's names.
And we know that the director is also the writer of this film. He's there on set. This dude wrote it. He's going to know. If you've got any questions, just ask Mattress Pikelet King. He's right there,
That's right.
screaming at everyone.
Lying on
is
a
it
bi-
Garou? Is it Garon? Is it Smith Garrett? Or
Or
is it
Smith-
Smith Garrett?
Or
what
Smith
was it?
Jarrett.
Jarrett, yeah. Jarrett.
Smith
or Garrett?
Garrett.
Because it's said both times.
Smith Garrett.
Smith Garou.
Yeah.
French.
Yeah, my uncle's French. Look, Tim.
Hey, someone complimented us on our southern accents recently.
Really?
Yeah, and he was from Louisiana from memory. First person ever. So many people gave a shit about the quality of accents on that.
That's fair.
You're a lot better at it than I am, that's for sure.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't...
Take the compliment, man. I don't throw them your way often. Just take it.
I'm not comfortable taking compliments from a man with a knife. It feels like you're giving me a favor or like I owe you something.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is, I don't think necessarily they're the most accurate accents, but you couldn't fault the commitment. That was unheard of and frankly unexpected.
Yeah.
What I was going to say though, Tim, is you don't want to drop the knife on the ground because there's a little like oil slick there, and you could scoop it, and you could scoop it.
Oh no, I don't want that to happen. Before you know it, I'll be
flu. If you got the flu, you know what to do. Don't go to school, don't go to work. You stay in bed, you drink chicken soup, or if you don't eat chickens, have some vegetable soup. It's good for you. Scooby-doo-ba-dee-boo-ba-dee-boo. Boo-ba-doo-ba-boo-ba-boo-ba-boo. Bongo solo.
Where's he going? What's with the
is a
bongos?
cool hat.
Is the question.
He's obviously Coffee Guy came into the film this week adorned in. It looked like he'd been at university recently. The first time we've not seen him in his traditional garb of a business suit, reading the newspaper. He came in wearing sort of one of those big faux dreadlock hats. You know, hats with like dreadlocks built into them.
What?
Yeah, and
I don't know what
and
you're
a set
talking
of
about,
bongos.
actually. A faux dreadlock hat.
They're like people wear them as.
Oh wait, yep. I've got in my mind's eye. I think what you're talking about. I wonder what that's called. Is it kind of like a beanie, but then it's got the dangly bits?
It's like a combination of a beret and a beanie.
Right. Yeah.
It's when people are trying to appropriate reggae culture.
Yeah.
They will.
Fucking. Do you know who wore one of those?
Who?
The oldest daughter from the Cosby Show. I'm so. Now we're going back because I haven't watched the Cosby Show since I was a small child, but I'm pretty confident she wore one. They explored her going into like a real liberal artsy zone, and I think she kind
as
of
a character,
and I think she got into poetry and shit. Not Rudy, the older one. Can't remember her name. That's so Raven.
that is classic Raven. That's a Zach Galifianakis gag.
What?
That's so Raven.
This is a show.
No, I know, but his one's like sometimes I'll be doing something,
Oh, right.
and I'll think, that's so Raven.
That is so Raven. What were you saying?
Oh,
The hat.
Fuck knows. Oh, look, yeah, he's wearing his big old hat and he's carrying some bongos. It looks to me like the guy's in a rush to get back to the university campus for a game of hacky sack down by the quad.
Because Mama loves bongos. Ra-da-da-da-da.
Mama loves bongos.
Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha.
Tequila. Woo.
Ra-da-da-da-da-da.
Tequila.
Ra-da-da-da-da-da.
Scooter baba.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Knife solo. Look, we could go all day, but yeah, that's my theory. It was muddied at the start. It took a while to get through. I think that he's enrolled in university, and he's having a great time on campus. He's meeting new people. He's making new friends. He's exploring a side of himself which he's suppressed for 40 something years.
Unbelievably, this 47th watch, 48th watch, I saw something that I had not seen before, and that was the fact that Coffee Guy pans to the camera that he's reading the culture section, or at least the culture section is at the front of whatever he's reading. That's what we said.
Coincidence?
I think not.
I think not.
Absolutely not. So he's gone to university to make something of himself. Good on him. I don't think this is the first time that he's done that, actually.
Yeah, that last time he kind of he got in with the wrong crowd and started moving around in some pretty just not very motivated circles.
Started smoking weed with some guy called Barack who was just a demon, absolute fiend.
The guy could mow through a bag of ganja like no one's business.
He used to have this thing called total absorption, where he would hotbox a car, say, or a small room, and no one could leave until all the smoke was absorbed by humans. The humans in there. I'm not even lying, man. That's a thing. That's a Barack thing. The other thing he would do is, because he was real good at basketball as well, is he'd be in a weed circle, apparently. I can't remember what I read this in. A reputable magazine, though. And he would take a puff. The joint would pass around like two people. Then he'd switch places where he was, run around the outside of the circle, jump back in, grab the joint again, and just yell out, intercept, and take another hit.
Is this? Are you making this up, or is this
No,
true?
no, this is true. This is true.
Seriously?
Yeah.
About the President of the United States of America.
Obama was a sick cunt.
That is hilarious.
That was his days in the, what is it called? The Choom Gang. Choom Gang, I think it was called.
I don't know, man.
He was a massive weed smoker, apparently, back in his college days.
Good on him.
Yeah, man.
Do what works for you, Barry.
That's what I say.
He doesn't mind if I call him that. We're close personal friends.
President
Donald Trump has
Barry.
got such a tiny little mouth.
Yeah, but he tries to scoot it out all the time to make it look bigger. He does that whole, like, pouty duck face thing.
We had an ad campaign. There's a product here called Burger Rings, which are like small, they're very orange, kind of barbecue flavored circular chips, thin rings. And there was briefly a subset of that product called Burger Ring Minis, and they were the same thing, only much, much smaller, sort of a quarter to a fifth of the size.
I never saw Burger Ring Minis.
Regular Burger Rings.
Okay.
And there was an ad campaign that came with this product, which was some policemen sitting in their car eating burger rings on duty, and they just had tiny little mouths, like proportionately sized to the mini burger ring.
That's awesome.
And
what a good campaign.
Yeah, I feel like, I was thinking about it today, actually. I feel like the only reason the product must have been launched is because someone was like, I've got this idea, we have to shoot it. But Donald Trump, every time I see him speaking, I think
little
of,
mouth.
he's got a little, it's perfect for putting a little tiny chip in.
And it's not holding him back, is it? That's what I like. He's got some obvious physical defects, and it's not holding him back a jot. He's
So
just
some
like,
huge mental defects, and
Yeah,
still,
exactly.
he's getting out there and
good
doing his
on
thing.
him. He's trying his hardest, and it's working, you know? Support democracy, guy. You don't have to agree with the man to agree that the fact that he's allowed to participate is dope.
Yeah, look, I obviously he's a baddie, in like a classic cartoonish villainous sense.
John Mulaney did an excellent bit on Seth Meyers recently about this, and I think he was referencing a very old bit that he used to do, that Donald Trump is basically what a homeless man would do if he won lotto. Like, it's his depiction of what a very rich man should be. Is like, oh, I've just won $1 billion. I'm going to build really tall buildings and put my name on them. It's just real cartoon, Monopoly guy villain.
He absolutely is. But yeah, and he is like, he's a devastatingly, his opinions are devastatingly toxic. But the level of distance I have from here to America, and the fact he's got such a funny little mouth, and the things he's saying is so like ludicrously offensive and dastardly that it doesn't seem real.
Yeah.
I genuinely can't look at, like,
There's a real hyper reality to it.
Yeah, like I can't think of him as someone who is actually a contender in any way to be like. The whole thing is just so far-fetched. It's like a parallel universe. It's an alternate reality. And
what a time to be alive, eh?
So I can't take him seriously. I can't even be seriously... I get very fucked off at things he says, but I can't be seriously outraged with the guy because I'm like...
Do you know, without getting too deep into this, I actually reckon that's why he's doing so well. Because it's like people kind of like... You can't hold him to the same standard as other people because he's obviously nuts. So if he says something, because for ages it'd be like he'd say something offensive about women or Mexicans or Muslims or whatever, and the press would be like, well, this is it. He's fucked it now. This is the end of his run. And then his numbers would just go up. And it's because I think his supporters just go like, oh, yeah, but that, it's because he's not a real...
Yeah.
There's some subconscious element of like, yeah, but he's a cartoon character, so you can't, throw the regular standards.
He speaks in like narratives. He's like,
He's like
you go out there and you hear people saying, they're saying Donald. He's like,
I am the best.
Yeah,
he
he's
doesn't
like,
finish any sentence
yeah,
ever.
in the middle of every sentence, he defers to some like idea of a group of people who
Everything is an
are
anecdote.
coming up to him and saying, it's important what you're doing. It's like clinical insanity.
It's incredible. It's how he talks is really incredible. It's pretty awesome.
I feel like we got a little bit off the beaten path with that jazz riff.
Yeah, not wrong. You're not wrong there. I'll tell you what I would like to do, and that is travel up a big building that doesn't have Donald Trump's name on it, because there is a big old, dusty old, leather-bound book I want to open up, Guy, with
course you
Chew.
do.
And it has gotten an embossed golden letters on the front of it. Big's Big Book of Ideas.
Oh, dearie me. This is, frankly, this book is, to call it dog-eared would be doing it a disservice. It's been run ragged, put through the ringer, so to speak.
It's gone through the wash.
I feel like he never, like the only time
That
that's not
muck
on
wash in the jungle and the dryer that they've got.
That's right. That's the cleanest. Just as a side note, this episode is also partially sponsored by.
It was a mean bomb. I didn't even see that, but I could just hear how good that bomb was into the pool.
Yeah, I was surprised not to hear more fanfare from the spectators going, ha ha ha, that was sick.
They're over it now. That's how, like, desensitized to awesome bombs. these
Fucking
kids
hell.
are.
Kids can swim for so long. When you're like under 10, you can go in the water,
Yeah.
and then that in and of itself is enough.
That's a day.
That's like 9 hours.
Yeah.
You have to be told.
Yeah.
You will be shriveled, like
Yeah.
a third of the size you got in. Your
Totally.
lips will be blue.
Yeah.
You cannot speak for the chattering, and you'll still be like, oh, I'm not ready to get out.
Yeah.
It is fucking insane. And now, as an adult, even in the sweltering heat,
You go
I'll
on for
put my
15 minutes.
max.
Yeah.
I'll put my body under the water. I'll float around. I'll swim maybe like however many laps I can before I get bored of it, and then I'll just get out. What is the secret?
I don't know.
Do you think it's the sense of weightlessness, and it's like they're still enjoying the sensation of their body having like a different
Well,
form of control over your body?
When you're a kid, though, you're way more weightless than you are as a human because you've got less weight.
They're so light.
Doesn't make any sense, Guy. I don't know what it is.
No, I don't.
Children are just better at enjoying things.
They really are.
God bless them. They are our future.
A child
big-
would never do anything as arbitrary as what we're doing,
Big-
which I think is a
Well,
core
it's
to
because
their
they don't have
happiness.
commitment, and I think that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Because with that childlike naivete, if they committed to something huge, it maybe
could
wouldn't
destroy
end well.
them.
You know?
That's how you want to harness the power of children, which is frankly one of the only remaining ways that we can, activate an army of warriors to prevent Brady and his army of rats.
Which is precisely what Big is banking on with his latest big idea.
Talk to me.
Big has essentially got a bunch of kids, and you're going to have to just check your ethics at the door for one moment because there is a greater good here. He's basically got a room full of children and hooked them up to a series of electrodes to measure their brain activity. And he's basically trying to figure out through a series of tests how they can remain so optimistic and how they enjoy everything so much, like being in the water. And he's trying to find a way to harness that pure enjoyment to add it to a competing AI that's going to take down Dickbot. Because he's run the math, he's done the equations, and he's figured out, this is Big. I'm not saying this is the complete truth, but Big has figured out himself that Dickbot is going to win against Brady, and the only thing that will take down Dickbot is a better AI.
He's run the
numbers.
seriously.
Yes, dude.
The fact that
What do you think he's doing in that big room of his with the 2 computer screens and no keyboard? He's running the numbers.
I guess I've never thought he's hiding in plain sight because I've never thought of what is actually going on behind the facade of working the market.
Yeah. What he's done is he's rigged up a series of computers that are supposed to be used to like figure out where the stock market's going and stuff, but he's kind of inserted his own code in there to try and figure out. He's chucked an algorithm on there to figure out who's going to win between Brady or Dickbot, and it's come up Dickbot, and he can't have it. He couldn't have Brady either, to be honest. He just needed to figure out which enemy he needed to vanquish after the battle for him to reign supreme, or at least get some.
This is where things
neutrality.
become incredibly interesting because Mr. Big is not a government agent, is he?
No,
He's like
a free man.
Yeah, in the same way that Brady and Dickbot are,
Well, to be fair, Dickbot was created by
that's true.
the Americans.
No, the Japanese.
Japanese.
In a response to what America did during World War II.
Yes. Correct.
Look, the thing is, if Big is a single agent or whatever, an agent unto himself,
Yeah. He's like Batman.
He's a vigilante.
How would you feel about Chris Noah being Batman?
I feel like, first of all, that will never happen. And if it did, it would
Not
be...
now that we've got all super serious with our comic book movies. Except for Deadpool. God, I'm holding out hope.
Yeah, you're really looking forward to that. I think that should be a good time too. But no, more that if he ever is Batman, it will be like in a reboot of the Adam West camp series of Batman. Like, there's no way they're going to give him the keys to a proper serious Batman.
Yeah, you're right. He'd be worse than Clooney, and that's saying something.
Yeah. Oh, I've lost my train of thought.
So,
what I'm asking though is that if he's an agent unto himself, a vigilante, if you will, what gives him the right to harness, to do what he's doing in essence? I mean,
this is the beauty of it. He is answering only to himself. This is the cool thing about Big Guy Montgomery. He doesn't wait for someone to say, the world's in trouble, we need a hand with this. He's got spunk, gumption, and initiative. And he takes this upon himself because he's a responsible soul. He doesn't want to see the world burn to ashes around him at the hands of a rat king or a Japanese contrived artificial intelligence inserted into a machine.
So at the cost of however many children who enjoy themselves going for a swim or whatever it is they do with their free time,
we'll put the kids back. They're not dying, but it's just
they'll lose all sense of childlike wonderment.
They're potentially not going to have a great time while they're in there. Is all I'm saying. But there's a greater,
I feel like
here.
Yeah, I don't doubt that he's capable. I just question that. I guess you told me to check my ethics at the door. And
I certainly did. You've got to apply a bit of utilitarianism to this.
But you said, I guess it's just it comes back to the knife thing. It's when you're talking about someone showing moxie and taking initiative, and you're flicking a knife back and forth as you say it. It's just the marriage. It goes from being about Mr. Big to the guy recording the kids' party, practicing his thrusts with a blunt knife.
Well, all I'm saying is, don't be an Emmanuel can't, be an Emmanuel can. If you know your ethical theory philosophers of yesteryear.
I did not. And I am devastated because I can only imagine how satisfying that would have been, not just for you,
for
but
both
also
people who
in the conversation.
Jesus, I can't wait for this to be over, guy. I really can't. It's going to be so good.
That's right.
I'm pumped about New York as well.
Yeah, and we actually have progress and an announcement to make.
Do we?
Yes.
Cool.
We have...
Good car noise. That guy's excited. He's racing off.
That's right. This guy's racing off to buy tickets because our event is about to go live. We will be doing the last ever discussion around the god-awful Sex and the City 2 at the Union Hall in New York City at 10 p.m.
On March 3rd.
On March 3rd.
2016
right.
in the year of our Lord.
As soon as the link is live, we will put it on our Facebook page and tweet it out. And moreover, we're going to do it as a double bill. A double billing.
Double bill in a way.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be a triple. It's going to be...
Quad bill.
What's happening
Quad
is
damage.
we're going to do the podcast, put a fucking pin in that, and then to celebrate, we will both be performing half an hour of stand-up comedy for your entertainment, if you so choose to watch it.
It's so selfish because it is the definition of preaching to the converted. There's no way we'll get an honest read on if any joke we tell in that crowd is good or not.
There's more to performing jokes at stand-up comedy, Tim, than measuring them against the crowd and their value to you personally.
I don't know if that's true. It's the only reason I'm doing it.
You put the knife.
You
put the knife down. It's making you weird and schemy like.
Yeah.
That's very exciting news. We can't wait. And the main downside is that the capacity is. It's not huge. I think there's...
Oh, it's like 100,
up to 100 tickets.
I don't know. It's New York City. How many people listen to the podcast?
At least 100, surely. I would wager.
Yeah.
And I
it's
guess
definitely true. I've seen the stats.
I'll bet you $10 American. And
Yeah.
if I'm proven right, you'll have to give it to me on stage in front of the 100 paying Americans.
I'm not. Don't drag me into this.
It was you who said it in the first place.
No way, man. Yeah, but I don't attach money to this.
It's just a friendly bet between you and I.
That being said, we will be attaching money to the show
Yeah.
because it's costing us a lot to fly over. It's not cheap getting to the States from New Zealand.
It's not the cheapest. Yeah.
New Zealand's so out of the way. That's the issue.
This is the thing, though. It's the same price either way. America's as far away as New Zealand is from America.
That's what? That's
Look, all
true
I'm
of
saying
anywhere in the
is
world.
a jumbo jet is the size of a jumbo jet. It's been
XXXL.
a real pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, you're a real joy to work with, Guy Montgomery. We'll wrap it there, and because I've got to go camping now. I'm off.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. So look, hey, you listening out there, I don't say this often enough, but I love you. Think you're cool. Don't let the fact that I'm wielding a knife at the moment sway you. I'm a good guy. You want to hang out with your old mate Timbo.
Your Uncle Timbo swaggering into the bedroom just as you're resting your weary head.
He knows what he's doing with that knife. This isn't his first knife rodeo. Don't you worry about it.
And then his reassuring but slightly unhinged friend Guy following him through the door without a knife saying, I love you too, and for the love of God, Tim, get out here and stop wielding that knife.
Thank you very much to Big Pipe,
Yeah.
bigpipe.co.nz. Seriously, if you're in New Zealand,
Yeah.
get on it.
If you're in New Zealand and with any other internet provider and afraid that maybe a member of the company or a family member of someone from the company's family member who knows them is going to come around to your house and break in and throttle you, I can assure you that Big Pipe, they've got a very strict policy actually vis-a-vis throttling in the house and out of the house, and there'll be none of that. Thank you very much.
It's
a good gag. Bye, everybody.
It's the worst idea of all time. It's the worst idea of all time. Season 2.